I'm jealous Star Wars movies are happening again, but Star Treks aren't. As a lifelong Star Trek fan, I never thought I'd feel envy towards Star Wars. I grew up with warp cores, tricorders, and prime directives, not lightsabers, Jedi mind tricks, or Death Stars. But as I scroll through announcement after announcement of upcoming Star Wars movies, TV series, spin-offs, and even animated specials, I can't help but feel a pang of frustration. Star Wars is thriving on the big screen again. And Star Trek, well, we're still waiting for a movie that might never arrive. Star Trek hasn't had a theatrical release since Star Trek Beyond in 2016. That was nearly a decade ago. Since then, the franchise has focused almost entirely on television, with shows like Discovery, Picard, Lower Decks, Prodigy, and Strange New Worlds carrying the torch. And while some of these are truly excellent, I'd argue Strange New Worlds is the best Trek in years. There's still a gaping hole in the cinematic side of the franchise. Meanwhile, Star Wars is returning to theaters with films directed by James Mangold, Dave Filoni, and Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, each one with a clear plan, a hype train, and a place in the galaxy far, far away. What happened to Star Trek's movie future? For a while, we had hope. There were reports of a fourth Kelvin timeline movie bringing back Chris Pine's crew. Quentin Tarantino flirted with an R-rated concept. Noah Hawley was developing a standalone Trek adventure. But each of these projects evaporated into development limbo or got quietly shelved. Paramount has been notoriously indecisive about the franchise's cinematic direction, unsure whether to return to the Kelvin timeline, reboot yet again, or try something completely original. And in that indecision, years have been lost. What makes it even more painful is that Star Wars and Star Trek are more alike now than they've ever been. Both franchises have sprawling universes, rich lore, and devoted fan bases. Both have reinvented themselves multiple times. Both have legacies stretching back to the 1960s and 70s. And both have something to offer beyond nostalgic callbacks. Yet somehow, Lucasfilm has figured out how to keep the cinematic flame alive, while Paramount hasn't. Let's face it, the big screen matters. As brilliant as Trek's streaming era can be, there's something powerful about watching a starship streak into warp on a massive screen. The sweeping score, the theatrical scale, the sense of an event, it's a different experience entirely. Star Wars knows this. That's why they keep returning to the cinema with every generation. It's not just about box office returns. It's about cultural visibility. Theaters elevate a franchise's presence in the pop culture hierarchy. Right now, Star Wars feels larger than life. Star Trek feels grounded. And don't get me wrong, there are amazing things happening in Trek. Strange New Worlds has rekindled the spirit of exploration and optimism that made the original series special. Lower Decks proves that the franchise can laugh at itself and still tell meaningful stories. Picard Season 3 was a heartfelt love letter to the next generation. But these victories are happening on a smaller stage. Meanwhile, Star Wars gets red carpet premieres, theatrical trailers, and the kind of global attention Trek hasn't had since 2009. So yes, I'm jealous. I'm jealous of Star Wars fans who get to speculate about new trilogies and theatrical timelines. I'm jealous that they know which characters are headed for movie arcs, while we Trek fans are still refreshing deadline articles hoping for a scrap of news. I'm jealous that they get lightsabers glowing on IMAX screens while our phasers remain holstered in TV land. It's not just about competition. I don't want Trek to beat Star Wars. I want both to thrive. But for that to happen, Star Trek needs to make its way back to theaters. There's a universe of cinematic possibilities waiting to be explored. Imagine a Star Trek film that takes place in the 32nd century, tying into Discovery's time jump but with a new, original crew. Or a dark, espionage-driven movie featuring Section 31, leaning into political thrillers LA The Winter Soldier. Or, dare I say it, a character-focused drama set during the Romulan evacuation, bridging Picard and 2009 Trek timelines in a way that's both emotional and relevant. The potential is there. The audience is there. The legacy is there. We're just waiting for someone at Paramount to say, make it so. Until then, I'll keep watching Star Wars movie announcements with mixed emotions. I'll cheer for their successes, admire their confidence, and wonder why my beloved Star Trek can't seem to find the same footing. I'll rewatch old Trek films,